Let's take a look at question 11 now. Exercise 5.1. Find the multiplicative inverse of each of the complex numbers given in exercises 11 to 13. So let's pick up this 4 minus 3i, and we are supposed to find the multiplicative inverse of this. Now what is the idea behind multiplicative inverse? Let's take a look at that first. The idea behind finding the multiplicative inverse. What do you mean by multiplicative inverse? For any complex number z, the multiplicative inverse is 1 by z, or you can say that z power minus 1. This is the multiplicative inverse. And can we simplify it further? That's a simple idea, right? This is the multiplicative inverse. And can we obtain this multiplicative inverse somehow, right? Using some ideas? Yes, we can. If z equals a plus ib, then 1 upon z, that is the multiplicative inverse, becomes equal to 1 upon a plus ib. It can be multiplied with complex conjugate, that is a minus ib in the numerator upon a minus ib in the denominator, and this will give me a minus ib over here in the numerator, and in the denominator you will be getting a plus b, a minus b. Let's multiply them together and you get a square minus I square b square, which will become plus a square. This is actually equal to complex conjugate in the numerator, and what is this? This is square of under root a square plus b square, which is modulus z square. So z inverse, that is the multiplicative inverse, is also equal to this. Multiplicative inverse is also equal to this. 1 upon z is equal to this. From here we get one very important result as well, that is this. Z bar is equal to modulus of z square. Now this is one very important, very useful result, which is useful at multiple places and multiple locations while solving questions, while approaching questions. Yes, that's the concept behind finding the multiplicative inverse. Once we are aware of all of this, let's take a look at how do we approach this question of finding the multiplicative inverse. Let z equals 4 minus 3i. Then multiplicative inverse, we already know that multiplicative inverse is z inverse equals what? Z inverse is simply z bar over mod z square. We know that, right? That's the multiplicative inverse. So for finding this multiplicative inverse, we need z bar and we need mod z square. Let's use that idea. So z bar equals 4 plus 3i. What are we supposed to do for z bar? We are simply supposed to replace I by minus I. So here this is I, and we have replaced I by minus I. The minus will come over here and we'll get 4 plus 3i. What about mod z? Mod z is under root of a square plus b square. What is that? Under root of a square plus b square. This. And on simplification, this becomes equal to 16 plus 9, which is under root of 25. Okay, this is equal to 5 actually. Okay, so therefore z inverse, that is the multiplicative inverse, is equal to z bar, which is 4 plus 3i over mod z square, which is 5 square, which is 4 by 25 plus 3 by 25i. That's the multiplicative inverse of 4 minus 3i. And yes, that is my final answer for this question over here.